Huntington Hotel in sunny Southern California. And with me to share and commiserate is my awesome co-host, Valerie Garcia. How are you?
Hey, Philip. Whoa, my dog says hi. Hey, Philip. I'm okay, you know. We're hanging in there day by day. It's like, what is today, like T minus 4 days or something?
Well,
It's the, I don't know, we're right in the middle from the announcement that has called us here today.
yeah, we thought it was so appropriate to jump on and have an emergency podcast to talk about Roger Federer's retirement. He announced his retirement on September the 15th via Twitter and most social media. I thought it was interesting that he did it in an audio format with a picture of himself rather than a video format. And there was a lot of speculation about that. But it came out September 15th at 6 a.m., 6:18 a.m. here in Southern California. So I guess that means it was kind of, what time was it in Switzerland?
No, I thought they're 9 hours ahead. Well, I mean, like, the UK is like 9 hours ahead. And so I would think that Switzerland would be, I don't know, 10 maybe ahead. Yeah, I'm surprised it was 6 a.m. because I was in Indiana. Oh, he must have done it somewhere else besides Instagram first. Or Instagram took a long time to alert me because I got an alert like Roger Federer posted and I clicked on it and it was, oh, I'm so silly. Yeah, it was like 9 a.m., which is 6 a.m. Southern California time. I'm silly.
Okay, so here it is. 6 a.m. in California is 3 p.m. in Switzerland. So he announced it at 3 p.m. on the same day and shocked the world. I got so many texts and, messages on Instagram because everybody knows I post a ton of Roger Federer stuff on all of my socials, and everyone, even people who, could care less about tennis, said, "Are you okay?" And were checking in with me. How was it for you, Valerie?
I mean, it was pretty much the same, people who don't even know anything about tennis but associate, Roger with me. So heard the news and said, "Are you okay?" Like just checking in.
And it really speaks to his worldwide influence. Don't you think that everybody heard, and it was on so many media broadcasts? He's now on like hundreds of covers of magazines that he's retiring. I just saw that Savannah is going to do an exclusive interview on NBC with Roger next week. So, there's so much that's happening. And this in light of the fact that, the Laver Cup is happening next week. And he announced that would be his final ATP event. And Valerie Garcia, you will be there.
I mean, God willing that nothing happens strange to keep me from going. I do have a plane ticket and I do have a ticket to the match. So I really hope that no strange shenanigans happen that keep me from that. But yeah, I have the golden ticket, Philip.
That's incredible.
I'm going to the Willy Wonka factory. No.
Well, let's listen to Roger. I feel like it's so appropriate that we play in entirety his retirement message to everyone, and then we'll come back and talk about the Laver Cup and your experience.
To my tennis family and beyond. Of all the gifts that tennis has given me over the years, the greatest, without a doubt, has been the people I've met along the way. My friends, my competitors, and most of all the fans who give the sport its life. Today, I want to share some news with all of you. As many of you know, the past 3 years have presented me with challenges in the form of injuries and surgeries. I've worked hard to return to full competitive form, but I also know my body's capacities and limits, and its message to me lately has been clear. I am 41 years old. I've played more than 1,500 matches over 24 years. Tennis has treated me more generously than I ever would have dreamt, and now I must recognize when it is time to end my competitive career. The Laver Cup next week in London will be my final ATP event. I will play more tennis in the future, of course, but just not in Grand Slams or on the tour. This is a bittersweet decision because I will miss everything the tour has given me, but at the same time, there is so much to celebrate. I consider myself one of the most fortunate people on earth. I was given a special talent to play tennis, and I did it at a level that I never imagined for much longer than I ever thought possible. I would like to especially thank my amazing wife Mirka, who has lived through every minute with me. She has warmed me up before finals, watched countless matches even while over 8 months pregnant, and has endured my goofy side on the road with my team for over 20 years. I also want to thank my 4 wonderful children for supporting me, always eager to explore new places and creating wonderful memories along the way. Seeing my family cheering me on from the stands is a feeling I will cherish forever. I would also like to thank and recognize my loving parents, my dear sister, without whom nothing would be possible. A big thank you to all my former coaches who always guided me in the right direction. You have been wonderful. And to Swiss Tennis, who believed in me as a young player and gave me an ideal start. I really want to thank and acknowledge my amazing team, Ivan, Danny, Roland, and particularly Seve and Pierre, who have given me the best advice and have always been there for me. Also Tony, for creatively managing my business for over 17 years. You are all incredible, and I've loved every minute with you. I want to thank my loyal sponsors, who are really like partners to me, and the hardworking teams and tournaments on the ATP Tour who consistently welcomed all of us with kindness and hospitality. I would also like to thank my competitors on the court. I was lucky enough to play so many epic matches that I will never forget. We battled fairly, with passion and intensity, and I always tried my best to respect the history of the game. I feel extremely grateful. We pushed each other, and together we took tennis to new levels. Above all, I must offer a special thank you to my unbelievable fans. You will never know how much strength and belief you have given me. The inspiring feeling of walking into full stadiums and arenas has been one of the huge thrills in my life. Without you, those successes would have felt lonely rather than filled with joy and energy. The last 24 years on tour have been an incredible adventure. While it sometimes feels like it went by in 24 hours, it has also been so deep and magical that it seems as if I've already lived a full lifetime. I've had the immense fortune to play in front of you in over 40 different countries. I have laughed and cried, felt joy and pain, and most of all, I have felt incredibly alive. Through my travels, I've met many wonderful people who will remain friends for life, who consistently took time out of their busy schedules to come and watch me play and cheer me on around the globe. Thank you. When my love of tennis started, I was a ball kid in my hometown of Basel. I used to watch the players with a sense of wonder. They were like giants to me, and I began to dream. My dreams led me to work harder, and I started to believe in myself. Some success brought me confidence, and I was on my way to the most amazing journey that has led to this day. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart to everyone around the world who has helped make the dreams of a young Swiss ball kid come true. Finally, to the game of tennis, I love you and will never leave you.
So there you have it, Roger talking about his amazing retirement. He is 41 years old. He will be at the Laver Cup, and our very own Valerie Garcia will be there as well. Valerie, of course, you bought the tickets before you even knew he was going to retire, before anyone knew. What's going through your mind?
Well, I honestly, my life has been so busy. I haven't even had time to think about or be that excited. I'm on a one day at a time type of thing. Everyone's like, how excited? Are you so excited? I'm like, no, I can't even think about next Friday, right now. I have a lot going on in life and work that I'm just like, today is the day that I'm focused on. So, but when I get there, you better believe I am going all out. I'll be there as early as I can stand and wait, and I'll wait till they kick me out of the grounds,
Right.
For anyone who doesn't know, the Laver Cup it's 3 days. It's a 3-day tournament. And so it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And by the time I decided I was going to go, there were only tickets left for Friday. And there was only like 18 tickets left. So I was like, oh, okay, you know. I got Friday because that was the only day I could get. And honestly, the tickets were so expensive that at the time I didn't know Roger was going to retire. It didn't seem right to spend that much money. Obviously, if I knew it was going to be his last event, I would have sold my right arm and leg to be probably there all 3 days, or maybe at least Friday and Sunday. So I'm going to be there on the first day, not his last day, but I'm sure it's still going to be super amazing and special. And I feel like it's a little bit of, you know, it's a little serendipitous or kismet, you know, that anyone who knows me knows what Roger means to me.
Well, and you bought the tickets and everyone was excited because on Team Europe, it was going to be the first time that all four of the, you know, top players from this era, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Andy Murray were going to be together again. So, well, I shouldn't even say it again. Have they ever been together?
No, they have never.
They never have. So, I mean, it was just insane that they're all going to be there at this one event, which, you know, that's what the Laver Cup, that's why the Laver Cup is so special. It just creates this incredible camaraderie and also challenge and these matches that could never happen, and also this, you know, team mentality. It's just such a huge success that Roger came up with and his team. And you know, we thought this was the road to his comeback, right? We thought this was going to be his first kind of ease into coming back to tour, playing again. He was going to play in Basel. That was confirmed as well. So some people were speculating maybe Basel, his hometown, would be his last tournament as well. Of course, there was that speculation. And wow.
Yeah, I think we just spoke about that in our last episode.
Right.
Where we were talking about Serena. We kind of talked about Roger, and you and I were trying to guess, you know, what was going to happen. So
right. And for him,
it was definitely quite a shock, you know.
Yeah, very much so. So sad. I really was like in shock because it really feels like a lot of my motivation for and inspiration for tennis is really, you know, Roger and watching him play and seeing him on court and, you know, driving to Indian Wells just to try to see him and all of that. And I think, you know, it's going to be a big transition for all of these major players. And, you know, Nadal's not that young, right? Even Djokovic's not that young. So there's a huge seismic shift happening within the world of tennis.
There sure is. An era is ending.
I did think it was really beautiful that Roger, in the follow-up to his retirement announcement, he actually posted pictures of a beautiful picture of him and Mirka sitting together, and he said that he got to share the retirement moment with Mirka, the kids, and also his parents. And so he sent pictures to the interweb of, you know, those closest to him that he shared moments with, and they were beautiful, and that was very heartwarming.
Yes, I mean, it really was. So I'm so curious what it was like, you know, in the morning. What happened? Walk me through your morning, because it was 9. I was already like awake and working by the time the alert, you know, dinged on my phone. Well, I'm sure you were already awake for 2 hours, probably too. But walk me through your experience. What happened? You know, you saw it.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm trading stocks in the morning, so I get up like super early at 4 and also checking, you know, the internet and socials and all that stuff. So yeah, we were in the middle of kind of a very important stock day because the 16th was this thing called quad witching, you know, really big event in stock history. And also the market had just dropped tremendously based on the CPI notes on the 13th. So everybody was like trembling because the stocks were down. So it really felt like a tsunami in my life. Like, wow, stocks are down, the markets are down, and now Roger Federer announces his retirement. It's like, can you just kick me harder?
Oh man.
Felt terrible. Felt awful. And then of course on social media, everybody had those crying emojis on their Twitter. And, suddenly so many people were tagging me and sending me messages saying, he just announced his retirement. He just is, and then everybody was reposting that. And boy, so many people responded to it as well, which again just shows you like how powerful his influence is. And when something like this happens, they really come out for you, right?
Yeah, so crazy.
So that post that he put on Twitter already has 750,000 likes and has been retweeted 200,000 times, and 25,000 people have left comments to him. And some of the comments were left by, Rafa Nadal left a beautiful comment, and Novak Djokovic and Serena and Venus, and so many people have commented. Andre Agassi. Roger actually responded to Andre. Andre said, "Your game and your spirit taught us how beautiful tennis can be played, Roger Federer. Every moment you shared has left us all better off. Thank you, RF," said Andre Agassi. And this was the day after, on the 16th, Roger Federer retweeted that and commented himself, "Means a lot, Andre. Loved our matches and miss you." And he put the praying hands on. So many people, an outpouring of love for this
Beautiful.
man.
I am not a Twitter person, so I didn't see Andre's message. Nobody posted that on Instagram that I saw. But yeah, his Instagram notice, which is how I saw it, because I got that. I'm obviously, as a Roger lover, I have alerts. So if he posts anything, it just alerts me. That had 3.2 million likes on Insta, and oh gosh, I just like when that alert came up and I clicked it and saw letterhead, I knew, and I was like, F, And then I started reading, and I was working at Starbucks working on my laptop, and I just had a full blown meltdown. We all knew this day was coming, right? He hasn't played in years. So you kind of like were ready, or I thought I was ready, you're prepping for it, and then it happens and it's real, and you're forced to just feel all the feelings and think about what he meant to you, what he meant to tennis, what he means, I should say. It's not like he's dead, but sure feels like it. No, in fact, I think I called someone and was like, "Oh my God, I got the worst news in the world." And they were like, "What happened? Like something happened personally?" And I was like, "No, it's like, it's not like someone personal in my life, but it's the most important person." And they were like, Roger Federer didn't die, I would have heard about that. Like,
Right.
Did he retire? And I'm like, yeah, obviously you know me well. Like, if I say it's not someone in my personal life, but they mean that much, it's probably everyone's first thought that knows me. I was trying to explain to a coworker the significance of Roger in my life, and I was like, I can't even name the amount of family events or that I missed for Roger. I definitely scheduled my life around him, his matches, and the higher the caliber of the match, the more I was like, well, you're getting, I'll see the pictures of your wedding, or like, or you know, your birthday, you'll have another one next year. It was definitely like, you better have died, and then I'll come to the viewing, but I might miss the funeral. I don't know, right? Like, it was so significant, right? I messed up countless relationships by choosing Roger over my significant other, you know, and I, you know, it's just for a tennis fanatic and a Roger lover, or as Brad Gilbert would say, Fed fan, there just isn't.
Well, I mean, Valerie, you have his tattoo
I do
on
have
your
his
body.
logo tattooed and etched forever. You know, with the purpose that this dude is going to my grave. And actually, it's funny. So when people do say things like, because, you know, I've spent, how long has he been playing? I've only been following him since his 8th. He was on Grand Slam 8 when I was like, who's this guy? Oh my gosh, I'm in love. Like, with the tennis, I must be his number one fan. Like, I must start, you know, missing work and scheduling my life around this person to watch them at any opportunity I can. And I do truly feel like I missed so many life opportunities with real humans in my life. But they would get upset, and I'm like, but like, I just need you to understand how much this like means. It meant enough for me to tattoo him on my body. This isn't just like, oh, you know, it's not like Serena. It's not. I love Serena. It's not like Maria Sharapova, who I was just asked recently, who's your favorite female player of all time? And I was like, I probably would have to say Sharapova. But like, it's not like that. My love for Roger has transcended kind of the sport. I do think that he is our beloved. I don't think that our sport has ever seen anyone like Roger, and will ever see anyone like Roger. And I think he's fully responsible for creating the golden era of tennis, you know?
He definitely led the way, set the pace, and everybody had to catch up, right? And they have done that. Nadal has passed him, Djokovic has passed him, but what an incredible era to play. And yeah, it was just like you. There were so many nights, especially Australian Open, right? You have to stay up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning for Californians.
It was the worst. Sometimes
to see those Roger matches.
I think at like 1 a.m. or midnight is the start time. It's like 10 a.m. the next day over there, or like 10 a.m. like a day and a half ahead.
Yes, and you know, I really look at those matches so fondly because I was live tweeting at the same time as Roger was playing, and just the hundreds, actually thousands of people who would tweet Roger's matches at the same time. We'd all share, and every moment, every miss, every shank, you know, every miss break point opportunity that he was so famous for, you know, every ace. And for me, I only started in 2008, so it really was so late into the game when I started really following Roger, and it was so sad. I wish I had known earlier, you know. But I do, as a coach, also show every one of my students this is how to serve, and there's so many great slow motion Roger Federer serves, super slow motion forehands, you know, and he is the one. He is the one. And Valerie, you and I saw him together in person.
We did. We did.
We waited hours. We waited hours at the practice court at Indian Wells. Do you remember?
I do, because that was bleacher days.
Right? Bleacher days. And they had like the half fence at the courts, which was amazing. And he would always, I think because he knew he was going to sign autographs for fans and stuff, he would always pick the what was it, number 2 court, I think it was, on practice. And wow, we sat out there for hours
Right. And
waiting
then
for him.
that half white picket fence would like get crushed and fall over because everyone's like pushing and screaming like Elvis Presley is there.
Well, Roger is the king.
That's funny. I've been using that term a lot because I do really feel like it's very fitting. One of my favorite
Yeah.
Facebook groups of all time is called and on the seventh day God created Roger or something like that. Because yes.
Because that's a famous fan sign that was held up, right, at one of his matches. And on the seventh day, God created Roger Federer. That one, and I love Roger more than free Wi-Fi.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I mean, I feel like the best has and always will be, like genius at work.
Yes, genius at work.
But
Yes,
oh,
exactly.
how he's touched the lives. I mean, I just don't think that there'll ever be someone who is so beloved, who, unanimously is loved and a home court everywhere in the world. I think the only place that he might not be 51% or more favorite is like in Belgrade against Djokovic, or in Mallorca or Barcelona against Nadal. Like everywhere else, even if he's playing a hometown person, he's still the favorite, the crowd favorite. Not
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, speaking of Rafa Nadal, I have to read the bromance tweet from him. I think it's so appropriate. And you were saying, we wish this day would never come. And that's exactly what Rafa said. He actually took 2 tweets to say all that he wanted to say. Dear Roger, my friend and rival, I wish this day would have never come. It's a sad day for me personally and for sports around the world. It's been a pleasure, but also an honor and a privilege to share all of these years with you, living so many amazing moments on and off the court. Second tweet, we will have many more moments to share together in the future. There are still lots of things to do together. We know that. For now, I truly wish you all the happiness with your wife, Mirka, your kids, your family, and enjoy what's ahead of you. I'll see you in London at the Laver Cup. Hashtag Laver, ampersand Laver Cup. So he tagged it. And then, of course, after that, everyone started tweeting all of the bromance pictures of Rafa at the Laver Cup, where he and Roger were, jumping. And
When Nadal ended Federer's career with a broken back? No.
Exactly. Nadal, was so happy that Roger won the match and secured the win for Team Europe. Rafa came running out and passionately jumped. I mean,
like Dirty Dancing
3 feet
status?
into the air, into Roger's arms, and I was shocked that Roger held him up there.
Yeah.
It was amazing because that was a lot. And then there's just a flood of pictures of the two together, and of course, the classic commercial that they tried to make. Oh gosh,
when they couldn't stop giggling.
They couldn't stop giggling, and they were laughing and laughing, and of course that went viral as well. It brought it all back, and everybody saying, "I'm trying not to cry," I'll never forget this, and so many great pictures together. It just really is graceful and elegant and beautiful that these two rivals, at one point I was like so angry at Nadal because I just couldn't stand that he was beating my man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was beating him badly, and it was just, but I think Roger taught us, don't hate your enemy, right? Respect your enemy. And I really feel like his values have led the way for me in the way that I try to play tennis and try to honor and respect those people I play. And I think all of that stems from Roger. If I was following a different player, I'm sure my attitude would be different.
Totally. I mean, he has given the sport so much in terms of lessons on how to, be great. On lessons on greatness, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so much. And I'm just so grateful, Valerie. We got to share that moment together. We got to see Roger live in person together. I love that. I love that we got to do that. I actually saw Roger 2 times before that, of course, all at Indian Wells. The first time I waited 4 hours at a Tennis Warehouse meet and greets. And I don't know how. Oh, yeah, it was a person on Twitter named FedererFans07 who tweeted me and told me that there was going to be a special Roger thing. And he somehow knew that before everyone knew and announced it. So he sent me the tweet. So I went straight to Tennis Warehouse, and then I waited. You know, they're on campus tent house that they have,
Yeah.
tent store. So I waited there, and I got there, and there was already a line of like 120-ish people or something. I think I was like 130 something, and they only let in 150
Oh,
people to
wow.
meet him. So, and I had once I got in line, then I had to wait 4 hours for the time. And people, even though they kept telling everybody there's only 150 people are going to see him, the line went around the building. People just were like just hoping against hope, even though they said you're not going to see him. They just stood in line with us. And it was the best time because they were all Fed fans, of course. And so I just sat there and talked and met a family that had flown from India, like a husband and wife, 2 kids, one teenager, one younger. And, you know, we were talking the whole time about Roger and how much we love tennis. And I asked them about tennis in India. And there has just been in my life this amazing camaraderie with anyone who loves Roger Federer, which, you know, has led to 12,000 followers on Twitter, and most of them are Roger Federer fans because we all connect about our love and passion for tennis and for Roger Federer, and it's just been nonstop. So when I got to see him there at Indian Wells, I brought with me my RF shirt. It was kind of an army green RF shirt. I don't know if you remember that one.
I don't.
And I brought a silver marker for him to sign. And finally, after hours and hours, it's probably like hour 5, I got to meet him. I was like such an idiot, blubbering like, I love you, Roger. You're my favorite, you know. I was like totally starstruck. He took my shirt from my hands. He like put it on the table. He said, thank you so much. He was just so gracious. He straightened out the shirt, you know, very clean, and he signed it, and then he asked me a couple of questions, you know, and even though it was probably less than a minute, I could tell that he really was intentionally trying to respect me and show me love and appreciate the fact that I was his fan. And even though there was thousands of people standing in line, I really felt like he cared about me in that moment, and it changed my life. I went home and I told everyone I met Roger Federer. Oh. I felt like it was a miracle. It was
That's beautiful.
incredible.
I love that you said that he made a point to like acknowledge like you're there, you exist, you're his fan, he appreciates you. I can't tell you how many conversations I had with exes that were like, he doesn't even know you exist or care. And I was like, that's not true, damn it. He may not know, like me personally, that I exist, but he knows he has fans and he cares about us, damn it. And it was such like an argument. It was so funny. But I do think that is why he is so beloved too, because he does really care about his fans, and he always showed that, and he always took the extra time to be accessible, and just so gracious in everything that he did.
Yeah.
I think I didn't get to meet or talk to him. I didn't get that experience, which sounds lovely. But I did. I remember like the first year I went to Indian. Maybe it was the first. No, I think because I used to go every year with friends, and I don't think we ever really cared to like try and get autographs. We just would watch practices and then go watch matches. But the first year I went without my friends and I went alone. I went to get Roger's autograph, and I remember like there was a little kid in front of me, and he was putting his, and I could have totally put my hat out in front of the kid because I had longer arms, but I'm not a horrible, mean monster. So I let the kid get the autograph, and then that was the last one Roger signed. He left. And I remember calling my mom, and I was like on the verge of tears. Like, I just didn't get it because he stopped after the kid. Like, I would have got it, but I let the kid have it. I was like having this moral dilemma. Like, should I have just pushed the kid aside? No. For my moment, but thankfully I didn't have to do that. Actually, I think it was like the next day or the next year I went and he did sign my hat, and then I was like, okay, see, like, you got it, so you don't have to worry about it. But my favorite memory about Roger at Indian Wells was back in the day, many, many moons ago, before they had the stands at the practice courts and fences everywhere. Everything was open, and like, you could just walk on the practice court with Roger. There was no security. There was no fences. I don't know if you know the practice courts at the lower level, like behind court 2 or stadium 2, where they have like 3 concrete steps down to the court.
Oh, yes.
Now they have those, usually they have little fences. So you could sit on the concrete steps, but you can't actually go on the court. Well, before they didn't have any fences, so we would just sit on the concrete steps, and I remember sitting there for an hour or 2, watching him practice, and Mirka was sitting there practicing, or not practicing, watching his practice, and I got some. This was so long ago, like I didn't even have a cell phone, like I had a camera with me, like with film, that I had to go develop, and yeah, so I have all these like developed, printed out pictures of Roger. I just remember he had like a red shirt with like a black spider on it.
Oh, wow.
And
I don't think I've seen those, Valerie. You have to show them to me.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to like make a little personal post like on Insta for Roger, but it's kind of surreal. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but I was going to use the word because it is kind of embarrassing. I honestly, if I think about it too much, I literally will break down and start having like, like it's so sad, right? Like I just, what do you do when you've like dedicated your passion and revolved your life around this person, and then they're like, okay, like I guess I could just rewatch all his career matches. No.
And you do see that right now, like people are uploading tons of Roger Federer matches, and I just recently rewatched his last title in Basel. No, it must have been Halle, because Halle was 2021. Yeah. And then after that he played Wimbledon. So yeah, it must have been Halle. Sorry, I thought it was Basel. But
well,
yeah,
it's interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just that there are so many videos uploading right now, and people are, really creating that catalog for all of us to remember him, and even personal videos and pictures of people who have met him and played with him. And I love what you shared, Valerie, because I think, it is, we all find joy in something, right? And for you and I, we found joy in Roger Federer, and it really was inspiration for me for 10 years plus, having something to look forward to, having a reason to bond with other people, and really enjoying the beauty of his tennis. So, and you and I connected because of him.
Yeah, for sure, right? I mean,
our friendship.
We met so long ago, and this was a huge bonding agent for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you, Roger, for my friend Valerie, that you brought us together, and so many people in our lives. So, I think we have a lot to be thankful for. But you were going to say.
Oh, I was going to point out, because you mentioned Halle, and so I know we wanted to kind of have a more heartfelt personal experience for this podcast, which is super great. I just happened I wasn't sure where we were going, so I just Googled really quick, like, I'm just going to look up some stats, and see if anything interesting pops up. And, there's like a 6 bullet point type of thing came across.
Yeah, sure.
And one of the cool things, speaking just like in regards to grass, is that he had 65 straight wins on grass from the year 2003 to the year 2008.
Wow.
Like, that is pretty insane. That he didn't lose for virtually 5 years, or let's say 4.5, not knowing exactly how that went. But that's pretty amazing. And he was like, I think the other day I was just reliving all the times Rogers literally made me cry. And the last time I really, really cried was championship point, Wimbledon. It was like 40-15, and I remember I was driving down the freeway because I couldn't watch it, and I remember I was crying tears of joy because I was like, he's going to friggin' win. This is going to happen. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Like, he has 2 first serves, like, to win this championship.
Oh,
and then,
gosh.
like, when it didn't happen, like, the devastation. I was, like, in mourning for, like, a week. That was one of the worst losses ever. But yeah, I remember when he would lose certain big matches, like, my family would seriously check on me because they would be like, is she okay? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. Like, this, it hurts so much. Like, why? I don't know. It is such a, for me, and I'm not alone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. There's millions and millions of fans around the world who were so emotionally invested in him, his success, and which just wanting to see that beautiful game of his be rewarded with titles.
Yeah. And we had just finished the U.S. Open, and Roger was actually the last male player to win U.S. Open back-to-back. It just is stunning, the success that he had there compared to other players. And something that came out of the U.S. Open, of course, was Carlos Alcaraz winning. And Carlos was very clear that he considers himself to be, someone who plays like Federer. I mean, he actually tweeted describing himself. I know everybody thinks, oh, he's like a Nadal copy, but he actually described himself as, I play like, I try to play like Roger Federer.
Yeah, he's aggression, right?
Exactly. His aggressive style.
An offensive game. And I think, that's so cool that I heard that stat when I was watching the U.S. Open. They were like, nobody's defended their title since Roger Federer. And there was, at some point, I think he won like 5 in a row, which was great. But I do think it had a lot to do with the speed of the court, right? The U.S. Open used to be the fastest.
Right.
And it was probably the most similar to grass and it very much favored his aggressive game style. So
yeah.
I think also they actually did change the U.S. Open courts over the last several years. They've slowed them down, and that's when Roger kind of said they slowed down Wimbledon too, and so it's kind of amazing that he was able to still be successful at those tournaments. But I just think, like, had they not slowed down the grass and U.S. Open, like, how many more titles would he have won? Because he definitely was a player who dominated on indoor or fast surfaces, right? Like, that was his, his forte.
Yeah. Well, you're on your way to London, right? When are you leaving?
3 days. Wednesday. Also, I will leave LA Wednesday. I will arrive in London Thursday. I will try to get the best amount of sleep as I possibly can, so that when I wake up Friday morning, I'm off and running and ready to have the best and most emotional day of my life.
Can you imagine when he walks out on court on that Friday?
It's going to be insane.
Number 1 5 times in his career. He's captured 102 singles titles, the ATP World Tour year-end championships, a record 6 times, well as 28 Masters 1000 trophies. He owns an all-time record 20 majors. The Australian Open in 4, 6, 7, 10, 17, and 18. Wimbledon in 03, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12, and 17. Roland Garros in 2001. And the US Open in 2004, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He's a Davis Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, Switzerland's very own Roger Federer.
I am certain that I am going to scream so loud I won't be able to talk for days. I am certain that my body will pay prices for this event.
Oh my gosh, Valor, I can't believe you're going to be there. Please, please record that moment on your phone. I mean, just the audio or the video, anything, so that we can share it with you. I mean, I'll definitely be watching, of course, on television or whatever, wherever I can find it. But wow, what a moment to be there. And you're a true fan. True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anybody would ever dare to question that.
I guess the question is he going to play, right? We just don't know what the status of his knee is.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder, like, does he maybe just play doubles?
Yeah.
You know, we'll see. I mean, I guess the good news is about Friday is that if he does try to play on Friday and then decides, like, I can't do it, like, at least maybe I got to see that. But we'll see, you know, who knows? I'm not going to tie my joy to a specific outcome. I am going to just go and be very, very grateful.
Yeah.
That I get to be part of the moment. A moment that, like, honestly, what's funny is, was it me and you, or I feel like it was Nicholas maybe, who told our Rafa reporter, who said something like, oh, if Roger was retiring, would you go to his last match? And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I've seen him play a lot. I saw him for 12 years straight at Indian Wells. Like, I'm good. And I saw him at the US Open as well in 2009. So, where I actually bought like $500 worth of gear. I'll never forget. Well, I'll get back to that but basically I was saying, like, no, I'm not going to go to his last match. And then, like, when the announcement came and it was like Labor Cup, and I realized, like, I'm going to be somewhat at the last event, like, I felt so much happiness or relief just being like, I'm glad it worked out this way, because I probably wouldn't have, like, made a point to try and get, if he had announced, like, oh, I don't know, Miami's going to be my last tournament next year. Like, I don't know if I would have done it. I don't know how would I have gone and made a point to, like, be there. I felt like this is the way that it needed to happen, and I just feel so lucky. But just to wrap up the U.S. Open, at Indian Wells, for those who have never been, there's always, like Philip was sharing in his story, there's the tennis warehouse tent, and it has a bunch of stuff in there, like tennis gear and tennis balls and all kinds of, like, stuff. And it would always had player apparel, and you'd have, like, maybe one Roger shirt and one Roger hat, and one Rafa shirt and one Rafa hat. And I went to New York to the US Open, and I went to the apparel stand to, like, get my one shirt and my one hat. And there was, like, 6 shirts and, like, 15 hats and a poster and a jacket. And I was like, oh my gosh. I literally just told the person I want one of everything in medium and one hat in every single color.
Yeah.
And I'll take that poster and I'll take that jacket. And the jacket is my beloved, like, my most beloved clothing item. It's the black with the red striped sleeves.
Wow.
and it has a white RF on the crest or whatever.
Yeah.
And that jacket is just so spiffy. It is just to this day like the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I love it. It only comes out like on special occasions. I don't wear it that often. But yeah, and then I had my friends, I put all the merchandise out on the hotel bed and laid down with it, and my friends took a picture, and it's like one of my favorite pictures of all time because
that is so cool.
It is
I can't wait to see all this stuff. We got to have a Roger party and take video.
Oh my gosh.
I'll bring all my stuff and you can bring yours.
Totally. You know what we should do is we should watch all his 20 Grand Slam final wins or something.
Yeah, except for 2019 I can't. I just can't do it.
Wait. 2019?
Isn't it 2019? Isn't that the year that Djokovic beat him?
Oh, I said his 20 Grand Slam wins, but
wins. Okay.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't trying to relive the trauma and pain of the losses. No, I'd like to rewatch the was it 16-14 fifth set Wimbledon against Roddick where.
Oh yeah, classic.
Where all my friends who are Roddick fans, we watched together, and they were just devastated. It was amazing. Yeah. Do you have, Philip, if like you could think of like your most memorable Federer match?
Oh, definitely 2017 Australian Open. It has to be. I mean, the miracle, right? The comeback, and then that whole year where he won the Sunshine Slam in Miami and Indian Wells, and he was just on fire. His backhand was unstoppable. He had this amazing record against Rafa that year. It was like every dream came true. And I think a lot of Federer fans felt like after that big comeback and that big year, it's like, hey, now we're happy, we're done, we're good. I don't think anybody wanted anyone to pass Roger's Grand Slam titles, but which is just stunning, isn't it? That anyone could even pass him. That Djokovic and Nadal have more Grand Slam titles, and that they can do it. It's just insane that they can do it. I mean, we were talking like, John McEnroe 4 or 5, Pete Sampras 7, 8. It's just like, what? It's just incredible that they're at 20, 21, 22 now. That's incredible.
3 of them like that. And now Alcaraz has one at 18 or 19. Sorry, 19.
19.
So,
but without the other guys playing. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's so interesting that they're all going to be there for Roger's send off as well. So I wonder what it feels like for them, right? For Tsitsipas to be there, for obviously his bromance Rafa to be there. I mean, how special for them. How does Novak feel being there, at the retirement? I think it's just going to be a love fest, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I've just signed me up, I mean, it's already like every time he plays somewhere, it kind of already is a love fest, Oh
my gosh, yeah. Him and Rafa in, what was it, Mexico, that had the record for most attendance. Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. So hopefully he'll do more exhibitions after. He'll keep doing amazing things for Africa and for his foundation. And, I'll still be following, and I'll still be wearing RF for many years to come. And I'm going to wear it as a badge of pride, even if people don't even remember Roger. The fact that I get to be a part of the elite club, the farther away we get from this moment, I feel like the more elite it is,
Yes, for sure. In fact, I was thinking like I need to get more hats. You start thinking, I don't know, like doom and gloom in terms of like, at what point does Uniqlo stop producing? Like how long does this stay relevant? And I need to make sure we always have them. I don't want to be having to search eBay and paying $800 for something, in like 15 years when we want to pay homage to our Roger at Indian Wells. I just when I was watching the U.S. Open and the French, I just like always am scanning the crowds for the RF hats because he hasn't played in, like we've said, he hasn't played in years. And
But
you
they're
still,
always
and
everywhere.
you still see them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
everywhere.
love that.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah. And I've had so many moments where, like, I think it was in New Orleans on vacation, and there was a lady who saw my hat and she said, "Hey, RF, that's cool."
Nice.
You know,
I've
it
been
just
let's be best friends. What's your phone number? Where do you
exactly.
live?
I just feel like it brings, the Federer fans connect, and it's just like the best people. So maybe every fandom feels that way, but I definitely feel that way about Federer fans.
Yes. So good.
Valerie, have an amazing trip. I can't wait to hear all about it. I hope you'll text me some pictures and stuff while you're there. And if anyone wants to connect, I think, Valerie, you're open to meeting with other people, right? When you're out
heck
there.
yeah, for sure.
So, shout out to all Fed fans if you want to meet with Valerie while she's in London. I'm going to put it on my Twitter too, and you're going to get some response. You got to reawaken your Twitter because that's where they all live.
I don't even know how to use Twitter, which is why I've gotten rid of it. I don't even like admitting this. I feel so embarrassed. But I'm like, what is this? I don't know how to read this retweet or this thing. I'm like, I get myself so backwards and confused on that.
Well, I'll be your Federer fan broker then.
There we go.
I'll be your medium and your conduit. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh.
You can screen them and then send them my way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so jealous, and I just hope it's just the most beautiful moment. In fact, I'm sure it will be. I mean, he's so good at planning. His team is so great at putting all these things together, and I'm sure Mirka's going to be there. Wow, and the kids.
Maybe
and
the kids, yeah.
I think so, right? I mean, it's that moment. So, wow, yeah.
So nice. You know what I just thought of? You can always, if you do get people who are interested in meeting up, I have a Tennis Pal email they can contact.
Yeah.
Right? We could figure out what that is and put it in the show notes. I think it's just Valerie at tennispal.com.
I think it is, yeah.
But
we'll test that out to make sure it's working and then if you want, I'll use that. Yeah, because I would love for you to connect to all these incredible friends that I constantly chat with. So you could be my conduit. That would be really cool.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Valerie, for sharing this moment and this moment of sadness and joy, tearful sadness, and for all the years that we've enjoyed Roger, and we're going to enjoy him many years ahead, but I think it's going to be harder to access him, right? We're not going to see pictures and interviews and all of that, and that's hard, right? That's a little bit sad.
Yeah, I have a feeling, and especially with his, I'm not leaving tennis comment.
Yeah.
I don't think he can get too far away from the game because he does have such a deep appreciation and love for the game. I would not be surprised if Fed doesn't end up doing some commentary, and maybe not like following the entire tour, and maybe not being like Pam Shriver or like Mary Jo Fernandez, Brad Gilbert, John McEnroe status in terms of being at like all the events. But I feel like he'll sit on some podiums and he'll do something where we still get to feel his presence in the game,
That would be so great if he did. Yeah, so great. Yeah.
Well,
he definitely doesn't need to.
No, but I think like he loves the game and he'll be interested,
Yeah.
And he'll want. I actually do think he'll want his opinions and ideas to be heard. I don't think he's ready to be gone. He just knows he can't play anymore.
Right.
So I think like he's still going to want to be part of the club and involved and interacting.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
Yeah. Well, I think it's appropriate to shout out that Roger Federer is one of the very few people that have served over 10,000 aces on tour.
Wow. And may all your 10,000 serves. No.
So, yeah, we'll end with that and just best wishes for your flight and your travel, that all goes well, Valerie, and can't wait to have an update from you when you get back, and just wish I could be with you. I'm so glad that you're going to be there at that moment. It's just so powerful.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we just hope that you'll tell your friends about Tennis Pal Chronicles if you enjoy it. Make sure you visit LoveSetMatch.net, which is where we post all the show notes and the blog, and you can also find out about tennis here in Southern California. Visit our really good friends Tennis Pal at tennispal.com, download the app, and find awesome people to play with, just like Valerie can.
Oh, yeah.
May all your serves be Roger's
Be aces.
How blessed is this sport to have Roger Federer. What an ambassador. He is remarkable on the court. I think in years to come he's going to prove himself to be even more remarkable off the court.
Oh, he's not bad at defending either. That is magnificent. That even brought a smile to Merker's face, and she's seen it all before. How good was that? 30-40.
Oh! It's a bit early to produce something like that. Utterly fantastic.
That's watching a genius at work, isn't it, really?
What we're looking for, absolutely.
Oil painting on the backhand. What a smooth stroke. 15 on.
When you put a smile on Larry Ellison's face, you know you're doing well. Marinka actually takes the ball early, comes in.
Oh, Federer has to win this one. Rafa rise to the occasion, and now is one of those times you'd have to think that.
Okay, so before we see the replay, how did he do that?
He's relaxed. He's relaxed. He sees it. Oh, okay, just regroup.
Oh, come on, that is just absurd. Put that one in a time capsule.
Stunning tennis. Extra weight to shot coming from the racket of Federer.
Brilliant tennis. still able to find a gap up the line. And he's back in front.
The big Canadians now got a very big match in advance. An hour and 18 minutes. Federer leads 2 sets to none. Boy, how big does that Hawkeye call become now?
Well, Songer just risking a little bit too much there. He's played this shot well, where he's got out wide. Dared Federer to go down the line.
The semi-final is level against the trend. Roger Federer has found a way once more, and we're going to go to at least 4. It's taken 1 hour and 43 minutes, 1 set apiece.
Talk about risky on the biggest point of the match for Federer.
You are the man. That's what they're here to see. Arguably the greatest player, playing great. It's turning into that right now. So relaxed, so focused. It's just a pure joy to watch.
Well, this is a virtuoso opening game of the second set, isn't it, by Federer? I mean, that drop shot and this half volley. The great Lou Hode would have been proud of this one.
It really has. And look at the faces. We call this a theatre. This is fantastic entertainment. It has been for such a long period of time for Roger Federer, even when he was first coming onto the tour, and he was shot selection-wise maybe not as good as he is now, obviously. But he was still such a talent, such an excitement to watch. He brought something to the game of tennis that has been rarely seen before.
This man, Roger Federer, wants to get better, believes he can get better, wants to chase the history books, and is in the process of doing it.
Oh! Is that the shot that starts to bring the magic?
Because this man's in town, the greatest player ever to play the game, certainly the most talented individual, the most well-rounded player ever to play this game.
The brilliance of this man. Completely fooled him? It seems so.
Magic Wilson wand early on is Federer. Aggressive.
That's genius. Oh, yes,
Federer. What a read.